Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to Sweet Freaks Candy. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. I'm here today doing a little video on a hard candy I'm making for a Halloween mix, and we are starting with a grape. So this has already been, the flavor is already in the pot as well as the color, and this one is grape. I'm going to add some citric acid to it to give it a nice little sour taste. So we'll have a sour grape. Got a little music in the background. I hope that doesn't bother anybody. So what I do first is, now that I've poured it onto the candy cooling table, I'm going to let it sit for just a minute to cool off just a bit, because if I add the citric acid now, there's a good chance that it could burn and give it a little bit of a funky flavor. So I like to wait a little bit and then can go from there. So once the edges start getting a little bit harder, see how I'm able to kind of pull that off the cooling table? So it's starting to cool down a little bit. And like I said, I'm using a grape today. This is from Loran Oils. So we're using a grape flavoring and corn syrup, pretty much the main ingredients there, and sugar obviously. So we boil it to 310 degrees, drop it on here. It's probably cooling off enough now that I'm going to add some citric acid. And this is what gives it that nice little sour flavor. And it kind of looks like a lot, and you're thinking, oh man, but actually kind of dissolves into the candy a little bit as well, and isn't too bad. So once I do that, I like to fold it in. So I kind of make this little pocket here. Kind of trap all that citric acid into there. And then this is the part where you actually let the candy do the work. I fold it in, and as you can tell, it's starting to harden up a little bit already. This is probably make about a 2.5 pound batch. But as I fold it in and do this, and it starts to, the citric acid will dissolve into the candy. And once I get it to a consistency that I like, we'll take it over to the heating table where we can pull and cut it. So this will be for a handout that I'm doing for a farmer's market on Halloween. So I'm actually going to be handing out my own candy. So this will be a little mix for all the kids to come and get a bag for me. And this is the part where I just kind of let the candy do the work. You still see some of that citric acid in there. We're also going to pull it a little bit to give it that, what it does is it traps air bubbles inside of it and gives the candy a little bit more volume to it. And also it won't be as hard, even though it's a hard candy. We're going to pull it enough to where it's got some air into it, so it's not going to just be completely solid and break a tooth if you bite into it. So it'll kind of crumble. It also distributes the flavor and the acid evenly. So as you can tell now, I'm starting to get kind of a little bit more consistency to it, almost like a Play-Doh. And at this point, it's still very hot, but I can kind of manipulate it. This is where I'll pull it a little bit. And I don't want to pull it too much, because trapping the air bubbles inside of this candy, what it does is it also reflects light. So the more that you pull it, the lighter and more pastel the candy's going to get. And for a Halloween candy, I want this purple to be pretty dark. I have done some other ones where I've pulled the candy and made it very light, then added black coloring to it and like a stripe to kind of do that. But this just being a small little free handout, I'm just going to kind of make it, I want to pull it a little bit. You can kind of see here, as I pull it a little bit, it's going to trap those air bubbles, and it's going to reflect some light. And as you can already tell, it's a little bit lighter than it was. See that there? So once I get it to about exactly where I want it, which this is probably pretty good, we're going to take it over to our cooling table, or to our heating table, I'm sorry. So let's head on over there. And this is our little setup here for our heating table. Let me set this up for you guys. So I've already got 2 pans set up for when I cut. There we go. For when I'm cutting it. I'm trying to get it just right for you guys there so you can get a good idea of what I'm doing. Let me see if I add some light there, if that helps. Let me know if that helps. This being my first video, I'm kind of testing some of the lighting and different things that I'm using. So what I have here is just a oversized griddle with some sill pads on it to get it nice and I don't need it hot because the candy will melt. So what I'm doing is just keeping it from completely cooling down and getting too hard so that I can still manipulate it, pull it, and cut it. I like to use 10.5-inch scissors. So I like to make kind of this little design like this, and what that does is it kind of keeps it hotter up here because it is a little bit thicker. But as I pull it from this end and I get the consistency that I want coming out of that end. So as you can see, it's still a little bit too soft, because if I tried to pull this right now, it would just kind of really thin out. And I'll show you what it does. When that happens, I'll pull from the other side. And this is just kind of a test run on the consistency, so I'm not too worried about it. You could actually put this back into the candy if you wanted to. And what this does is, the way that I cut them, it makes these nice little pillows. Nice little bite-sized pillows. And just from doing it for as long as I have, and as many times as I have, I kind of have an idea of the consistency that I want as far as the size and thickness of the candy. And the reason I have 2 pans is that I still pull it when it's a little bit hot. And so if you do them all together, they can stick together. Obviously once they cool down, you just drop them, but for me it's just easier. And like I said, you'll get these nice little pillows when you're done. I call them little candy pillows. It's just from pinching each side with the scissors. And it's kind of really gives it that homemade look and feel to it. You know, that people really know that I've done all this by hand. People are kind of surprised sometimes when I say that I've cut and make each piece by hand instead of out of machine. And I'm not worried about having every piece exactly the same size. I mean, I like to have a good consistency, and I think, you know, those look great. Sometimes I do get a bigger piece or a smaller piece, but I do it by weight when I do them, so that you're gonna get the same amount of candy every time. There might be a couple bigger or smaller pieces, but that's, you know, you'll get the same amount every time in a bag. And then I just keep flipping it, making sure I get the same amount, same consistency pulled off every time. Make nice little pillows. So just starting out this channel, you guys let me know. Comment down below, let me know what colors you'd like to see, what flavors, any questions you might have. I can also make, I will be doing some videos that are multicolored to kind of show you how to put more than one color together, and how I build them and get it a nice looking piece of candy. So I will be doing a couple videos on that. And obviously, if you guys would like to try any of this candy, you can go to my website at sweetfreakscandy.com and check out any of our, I think right now I've got about 36 flavors in stock. You can check them out, have them shipped to you, and if you see any flavors that you like on any of these videos, let me know. I will be doing a discount code. The discount code will be YouTube, and if you put that in, it will give you 20% off of your order. So that's another reason to watch it. So on these, on this heating unit for this griddle, I never really go past warm, because then that will get it too hot to where the candy will start to melt. But as I go and it gets smaller and smaller, it gets a little bit harder, so I turn it up just a bit to keep it going. And I'll start doing a little bit longer pieces. And then drop them to make sure they're all broken apart. And that's all there is to it, guys. So like I said, if you'd like to check out any of this candy, go to sweetfreakscandy.com. Comment down below, let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys like the video. It is my first one doing it this way, so I'll figure out the lighting and kind of the angles and everything to make sure that it's okay, but for now that's what we have to work with. And there's your finished product. Pretty cool. So if you guys have any questions, comment down below. Please like, subscribe. Appreciate all the love and support that we could get on this channel. It's brand new, so like I said, I will be putting in a YouTube promo code. Code will be YouTube, and that will be good at sweetfreakscandy.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.